welcome back to Swans Cast Weekly, everyone. So, 2 league games to discuss this week, but before we get there, got Lee with me today, as normal. How's your week been so far? Well, I say so far. How was your last week?
Yeah, not bad. I had a few days off work. Got out on my bike for a change.
Where'd you
that's
go?
another thing.
What?
I just out and about around some cycle paths. I got an app that just says what good cycle paths to do. So I just pick one and follow. That's quite good. You only see a magpie.
Yeah.
Do you salute one, or do you salute 2? Because I always salute one magpie.
Isn't it like each magpie you see has a different thing?
Yeah, it's like 1 for sorrow and 2 for joy, something like that. 3 for a girl. I can't
remember. Yeah, I think you just
4
salute one, didn't you?
For a boy. Oh no, because I was speaking the other day. I always salute one as habit, without fail. Nearly falling off my bike when I do it, when a magpie goes past. But then someone said to me the other day, like, oh no, they said they salute 2, they think, because if you salute 1, that was bad luck or something. I can't remember.
Anyway. I don't know, but maybe in the comments everyone can tell us if they salute 1 magpie, or has there got to be 2 magpies before you salute? I don't know what the answer is, to be honest.
It's the same with the black cat, isn't it? Because some people say it's lucky if a black cat walks past, and
isn't it like if it walks behind you or in front of you, it's different?
I don't know, but I need to know because I'm really superstitious, so I need to know the rule now. I don't think I've ever walked on 3 drains ever.
No.
No, I'll always avoid it all the time.
Wow.
And don't walk under scaffolding.
Let us know your top superstitions as well in the comments, and then we can see if Lee is aware of them, because you're probably going to ruin his life if you tell him. But
yeah, probably shouldn't tell me any superstitions because I'll do them all.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if anyone can hear that bike outside, but it seemed pretty loud. But we'll carry on. Well, I'm back. Well, I was back in work last week, but got another week off, so it's all good. I'll try and enjoy that before I'm back then, proper. But let's move on. So before I was
going to say, so
go on.
Getting into the football as well now. I was going to say, I'm so glad it's back. It feels like it's proper in the swing of things now. And then what's around the corner? The international break.
When? Oh yeah, it's after this weekend, isn't it?
The September one really bugs me because it's literally just as it's getting going.
We should try
to have that first international break.
The next podcast maybe for the international break.
Yeah,
because we probably won't have so much stuff to talk about on the weekly, so maybe we'll have a week off. We'll see what happens. Anyway, before we get into it, don't forget to keep up to date with all of our content. Hit the big red subscribe button. Really appreciate that. We are actually discussing the idea of maybe we'll do a giveaway or something. So bear that in mind. I think maybe the target would be 500 subs. So help us get to that goal. We're looking at doing a giveaway. Any ideas are welcome. It won't be something huge, but we were thinking something, in line with the club, maybe a kit or something like that. So let us know what you think would be a good idea, and we'll announce that when we finalise the details. Tick the bell icon to keep notified on all of our videos. Obviously, this one will be going out once a week, and then sometimes we'll have bonus videos around the weekly one and podcasts and stuff like that, depending on what we feel like we want to talk about, if we got any maybe Football Manager stuff on the go or other stuff. So keep an eye out for all of that. And don't forget as well to leave a like, because that helps us grow the channel, helps us reach more people, and don't forget to engage in the comments. We always love hearing what you said, and we always try to reply to all of them as much as we can. I think there's a few from the last video that we do still need to reply to, but we will get to that. So don't worry, we haven't forgot, but sometimes it just gets busy in work and stuff. That's all. That's why we've cut down on the videos to doing the once a week, where we'll just go all out and talk about everything in one go. Lastly then, you can find the podcast or the weekly podcast on Spotify. Just type in Swans Cast Media, and we also got our content on FanHub. So if you would like to get involved on FanHub, you can predict the teams, you can check into stadiums, increase your fan rating. Just give us a message and we'll get a code for you to get involved there as well. So the fan base is growing. We're trying to really up the amount of Swans fans on the app. It's only a new app, it's still kind of in development, but we want to try and get Swansea as the club, as the fan base, moving up on the leaderboard.
How was your fan hub this week?
I'm still ahead of you in the league.
Of course you are. I always get 9 out of 11 every week on the predictions. Always 9.
I think I had 8 this week because there was a couple of COVID cases, wasn't there? I think Downs had COVID, so
yeah,
I think that's why he wasn't in a team. But yeah, otherwise, I'm 5th in the Swansea City leaderboard, so I've dropped down a bit because I was 3rd. But so you've moved up though. You're up to 8th now, so you're not that far. You're creeping up.
Playoff push is coming.
But yeah, get involved in fan hubs if you want to see what we're on about, and then you can compete in the leaderboard with us. It's just a little bit of fun, I guess, like amongst fans of your own club, and there's a lot of stuff you can check out on there as well. So like I said, message us for a code and I can try and get you one if you are interested. Anyway, on to the actual stuff what you're here for. So the verdict then this week. So a bit to talk about. We've got 2 league games. We've got quite interesting bits that are going on within the league as well. Some interesting results, some interesting league positions that we're going to touch on. But I think there's only one place to start. And I'm glad that it got better later in the week. But Swansea versus Stoke, Tuesday night, was it? It was Tuesday night. Unfortunately, we didn't win the game. It was quite poor. We lost 3-1 after going 3-0 down, and Joe Piroe gave us a bit of hope. Ultimately meant nothing, but a bit of hope going towards the end of the match. I didn't actually manage to watch a lot of the game, which perhaps is a blessing. Based on what I heard some on the radio on my way home from work. I was working a late shift, so as much as I wanted to go down afterwards, I felt a bit better about it. But you were there, yeah? You were there.
Yeah, I was, unfortunately. It was it was horrific. I gotta be honest, that's probably one of the worst I've seen, just performance-wise. I mean, we've had some bad ones before, but that was well up there, I think. But I think credit to Stoke as well. Like, looking at where they are in the table now, it's not a bad result considering where they are in their, preparations compared to us. But no, we were well beaten.
We put them quite high.
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, but I mean, they've got to be coming to the end of like a 3-year cycle now, haven't they? Where they've like bought loads of players and filtered out all the ones they didn't want. So I think now they're still like
their
peaking,
cycle was like a 1-year cycle every year until they got it right, because they just
turned into a 3-year cycle.
Yeah. I've got a question, because I'm looking at the ratings on SofaScore. I know he scored. Who was man of the match?
What, for Swans or
no, just the game? Do you know the official one?
Not sure. Well,
according to SofaScore, Clucas had the highest rating. That's what I was going to say, and we will get on to him in a minute. Normally, I think we take it step by step through the game, but I think we're phasing away from that sort of way of approaching it. We're just going to talk about any key points and stuff. So maybe you can let me know how the game panned out briefly, and
to be fair though, the things I was probably moaning about on Tuesday corrected on Friday, so which was good to see. I think like it's well documented now, like it's all over the place, like how he wants to play, like playing out of the back. So every team that's going to come down to us or when we go away as well are just going to press us really aggressively, which is what they did. But we just looked absolutely like shot when they came so aggressive on the press. Like we said before about Cabango on the ball, he looked so scared on the ball when they started pressing. And then obviously didn't play on Friday night, so that's something.
I don't know if I saw him and Downs were the ones that.
Oh, is that right?
I just want to confirm that as 100% true, because I don't think anything's been said by the club, but I think that's what's going on there. Because he wasn't in the squad, was he?
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that must be why he didn't play on Friday. But like as we said, the back three that played on Friday night played really well, so they seemed to, address the problem there. I'm not blaming Cabango, by the way. I just think we've said it before. He definitely seems the least comfortable playing out from the back.
Man City's academy, you would expect him to be able to play out.
Played well. Apart from that, we were just soundly beaten. I mean, that game it could have been 5-0 easy because of 3-0. I think Bender made a good save, and I think one was like just deflected over the bar. It could have easily been 5-0 before Piroe scored then and made it look a bit better. So it was hard to have complaints, really. I think Stoke were decent, and we were awful in that game. That's literally how to sum it up. I think I'd be a lot more angry now if we hadn't got the win on Friday.
Yeah, well, we're going to have games like this where we are well beaten, especially while we're training, changing the way we play, learning a new manager style. Like, he's being quite vocal about how the fitness is not there in the squad to play his game. And then when you add the fixture congestion at this early part of the season in, it does make sense because like the pre-season was very disrupted. They hardly had any games. The manager was basically out the door, even though he was still in the door. So God knows what training would have been like at that stage. And then we had a load of COVID cases and people isolating and all this other stuff. So it's not been the best pre-season, early stage of the season. Getting into the thick and fast competitive games then, you can tell they're not where they need to be. And obviously the season finished late last year, didn't it? Some players went to the Euros. It wasn't the biggest off-season break that is normally. So combination of factors, but as long as we see positive signs of progress, and we are going to talk about the Friday game after this, but it looks like there is some. But going back to this game, at the time we didn't know we were going to win Friday, so it was all doom and gloom for a couple of hours, I think. I want to ask, obviously you said it wasn't working. Stoke scored the first goal in the 15th minute. Nick Powell. I did watch the highlights. I think it was a good goal.
Set piece.
Yeah, set piece.
Yeah, set piece in header, which is a bit annoying because I hope that's not something that it usually comes hand in hand. When we've played lovely football in the past, we always concede from set pieces.
Yeah.
Seems to be our Achilles heel. So obviously it's only one goal, but I'm hoping that's not something that creeps back in.
Yeah, what I was going to ask was, obviously he knew he wasn't working at this point and he did actually act upon it in the first half. Are you shocked by that? First half substitution?
A little bit, because normally you'd think most managers would probably give it till half time anyway, even though it's working. But credit to him for changing it, because it was that bad at the time. Like, you had to change it.
Yeah.
Because they had so many chances in the first half, and that first sort of 20-30 minutes.
Yeah, so we didn't mention...
You definitely had to change it.
We didn't mention the starting team. It was essentially the same team as the previous match against Sheffield. But Jan Dander and Jay Felton came in for Patterson and Cullen. Cullen, I think Martin said, was a bit tired. Needed a bit of a rest. Same as Patterson. He said when Patterson came in, he wasn't match fit because he hasn't had any pre-season because he was a free agent before he came in. So those two come in, and Jan Dander probably thinks he's not going to be ever catch a break here because he's the one that subbed for Joel Piroe would come on. And I'm assuming Joel Piroe went up top and Lowe dropped behind, did he?
Yeah, so it was kind of like a two up front, really. I'd say Piroe was probably a bit more advanced, but it looked sort of like a two up front. I on that though, I forgot about Dander coming off. As much as I'm not his biggest fan as well, I did feel really sorry for him because it was strange for me. I wouldn't have picked him as the sub to come off. I don't know. And then it was weird then.
You got Grimes, Downs and Fulton, and then you're taking Dander off, who's the one that's perhaps going to give
exactly.
you that spark.
And he pushed Fulton a bit forward then, behind
We always said Fulton's got a bit of flair, but how did he sort of perform in that role?
Yeah, he did all right. It was hard to pick out any good performances really, but it was strange. If you were going to take someone off who can play a bit more advanced, and then put someone else in that advanced position who doesn't usually play there, that seemed to be strange for me.
Perhaps
and again, I said
it was or something.
Maybe it might have been that. But in that game as well, I know someone probably, a lot of people probably know tactical decisions better than I do. But that game, he's trying to play passing football, and we spoke about having options. I didn't get it at all. They were almost in a U shape because he plays like the back three, and then he plays like the wing backs are sort of up, like almost wingers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like next to the striker. The two midfielders in front of the back three, like Grimes and Fulton at the time, are sort of wider, so sort of in line with the last two in the back three, if that makes sense. And then you've got the strikers up front, and Dander as well. Sorry, sort of. So it's almost like a U shape.
Downs.
So you've got who played? It was Grimes and
Downs in the middle, and then Dander and Fulton were ahead of them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. But so you got those two. You got Grimes and Downs are holding two, and then Dander and Fulton up together behind Lowe. but sort of wider. There was almost like a U shape with nothing in the middle, with just Lowe on his own up front. I don't think Lowe touched the ball.
He always tries to take the goal kicks wide, doesn't he, as well, if they are going that way or playing it short, and they're trying to find the wingers. But we said in the previous matches, couldn't get Lowe in the game. Lowe's getting a lot of criticism, which I think is unfair, because he's not a striker, but then at the same time, the ball is not getting to the striker. And then I know people will argue Piroe's managing to score goals, but he's doing the natural thing for him, which is being a striker. Lowe's not really built for I don't think that. I think he's built for being wide, getting one-on-one with someone. And
yeah, but we've said this. Lowe is not a striker. I don't like it when he plays up front. I hated it when he played when I used to play up front. Having Piroe as an out-and-out 9, you can see the difference. The goal he scored against Stoke, he gets in behind in that position. It was a great cross by Bidwell. It was the same last year when we said when Cullen came in. I remember he came on when we were 2-0 down against Wickham, and he did the same thing. He was making those runs in behind, and I think he scored a header coming in late, didn't he?
Yeah.
So like you said, it's the natural thing for a striker to do. So I don't understand. Well, maybe we'll going forward, Piroe up front with Lowe behind with someone else.
Well,
but they're almost, like I said, they're almost wide. Those two behind are almost wide, and then the two behind them in midfield are wider, and then you've got the wing backs wide. So you've got nothing in the middle, and that was really obvious in the Stoke game because Joe Allen and Clucas now were just flooding through the middle.
Yeah, a bit weird. I mean, I don't know.
But then not so much on Friday. So
yeah, maybe they was just getting it wrong, or maybe just again he's working on his system and trying to find gaps, and they couldn't find them. But again, they're up against a 3-5-2 themselves in Stoke, so maybe it was the formation that was causing issues, because that is an extra body in midfield there, the way they were playing, and we didn't adapt to it. But yeah, there's definitely questions to be asked there, and it's worth monitoring how that progresses through the season. Back to Jamal Lowe and Joel Piroe, both of them actually had 19 touches in the game. Probably played about the same amount of time today. But Jamal Lowe actually played 90 minutes. Okay, so Piroe a little bit more then in terms of getting involved, I'd imagine, but we were attacking more in the second half, so you could argue, it's offset by that. Jamal Lowe 5 out of 10 passes, so he only attempted 10 passes, and Piroe only attempted 12, succeeded in 9. So again, it just shows how little ball they're getting to them. Which again, you could argue then, just talking about Piroe specifically, how it highlights he's doing a good job, because he's not really in the game, but he's managing to get goals. He's got 3 now, 2 league goals, 1 in the cup.
Well, 3 in 3 games, isn't it? He didn't play the first game of the season. He's 3 in 3 in all fairness.
Sheffield, didn't he?
Did he? Yeah, he probably did. So 3 and 4.
Yeah, so that's a good return. And I was watching Benjamin Bloom. He live streamed the game, and he was saying that's a very promising early start. The fact when you look at the minutes he's played to 3 goals, it's very encouraging. So he was just asking the question, can he be the answer to our goal scoring problems? And we did mention last time a lot of people comparing him to Michu. Still too early for any of that for me, but I'm glad that he's now getting into the team, and I think it says a lot, because Martin was obviously gave him a challenge after the first game when he left him out. Everyone was questioning it, and he was like, yeah, he'll be involved on in the Reading game in the cup, and that would be his chance to show he should be involved more. Can he step up to the challenge, sort of thing? And he has, and he's continued to sort of do so, I guess, and now he's finding himself starting in the team.
He looks sharp though when he plays. He does look good, in all fairness.
Yeah, well,
with limited. We'll
talk about his goal against Bristol later on, because that shows a little bit more of his qualities, I think. But this one was a Jake Bidwell cross in, wasn't it? In a header. Yeah,
it was a great ball in, lovely ball in.
He's got it in him though, when he Bidwell cross in. It's just not often as what you would like. But at the same time, maybe when you're only aiming at one man, it is going to be less often. Because we don't flood the box necessarily with people who can score a header. Okay, the other points I've got down here. I think we've got to talk about one of the biggest things that happened in this game. Sam Clucas. So what happened? Talk me through it.
Well, I didn't think he was getting booed that much in the game, I thought. And then he scored, of course, and then went wild with his celebration holding his top up. But I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. You know, like the Adebayor celebration for Man City.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny. I know it's against us and it's annoying. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, but
and then he changed his.
A lot of our fans give it a lot, don't they?
Oh yeah, of course we do.
So you're asking for it, really?
Yeah, it was funny because the last game, when we did that celebration where he ran like to the other end of the pitch away at Stoke, they were giving it, what a waste of money all game, and then he scores and does the money celebration. You can't be annoyed. I think it's class.
Yeah, it's all banter, I think, to be honest. I don't think he actually hates the club or anything. I have a good understanding that he doesn't, and he enjoyed his time here. But it's just he gets grief, and I think he still gets grief on social media, especially in the run up to these games. So then, obviously, when the game comes, it's probably one of the games he looks forward to the most this season, because it is that bit of banter, and it's like all he has to do is score a goal. What more motivation do you need? And then if you score, that's going to trigger everyone. So why not just rub it in a little bit more in there? And that's what he's doing. Look, I hate it. I hate seeing it, and at the time it hurts, especially when you're going 2-0 down at that point. Yeah. And it's like, oh, for God's sake, and it had to be him. But statistically, one of the 4 ex-Swansea players was likely to score in this game. It's nearly half the team.
Yeah. No, it is annoying at the time, don't get me wrong. I know I said it's funny. At the time, I was gutted, but I didn't look at it afterwards. I just think it's quite funny.
Could have been worse. Could have been Ben Wilmot, because he's the hero for scoring against Cardiff.
Yeah, I don't think he would have celebrated, would he?
No, but it's just like stay in that hero status, don't score in it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the others then, Sam Surridge, Ben Wilmot and Joe Allen also started this game. How did they perform?
Well, to be honest, I think Joe Allen was good as always, does what he usually does. Surridge was a bit quieter.
On the highlights, he had a couple of chances that he should have maybe done better with.
Yeah, I think they were just a good unit, Stoke, weren't they? They just seemed to... Nick Powell was good before he went off and got injured. I thought he was a bit of a standout, but they always get a solid unit. I think that result is not as bad as it seems now, because Stoke are doing pretty well, aren't they? They're sort of high up in the table.
Yeah, they went and beat someone on the weekend, didn't they? Who was it they played again?
I can't remember who they played on the weekend.
I'll check now, but carry on what we were saying.
Oh, Forest they beat on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
1-0. But I think it's not as bad as a result as we think, and because Stoke will probably be up there this year if they carry on playing like they are.
Yeah.
But like we said, I think there's going to be a lot more results like that along the way. It's frustrating because we still haven't seen like our full potential yet, with injuries and players coming and going, and obviously changing the system. We still haven't seen what we've got. So it's essentially, this is our pre-season, whereas you've got Stoke are probably in probably the best condition they can be at the moment, like having a full pre-season, and they've had that squad together for a while with a couple of additions.
Yeah.
So maybe come round when we play them away, it'll be a completely different game.
Hopefully, but who knows, we'll have to wait and see. Looking into a little bit of the stats then, another game we had good possession. Obviously we know that's what we're trying to do, so you'd expect it now. 64% here. A little bit better on the shots front. 9 shots to 12, so you're the home team, so you want more, but it wasn't as bad as it has been. 3 on target this time to 5. 4 block shots. In regards to the rest though, I don't think none of them were big chances really. Stoke had 5 big chances, so it could have been worse. They apparently missed 3 of their big chances according to SofaScore, and they hit the woodwork once. Yeah. So yeah, it could have been worse for us. We didn't have anything there, 0 big chances, so we didn't miss any, of course. We didn't hit the woodwork. So things are improving a bit, but still more work to be done. 665 passes to 369. So again, we're passing the ball quite well, 88% accuracy. That side of the game, we're managing to do that, I think. I think it's just a case of adjusting that to make sure we're more comfortable in possession, so we don't lose the ball in areas that cause us trouble, and also keeping the ball whilst also breaking down the other team. That's the two things that definitely got to work on.
I think it's got to have, it's having the ball is great, and you can see he's changed that already. But in that game especially, it was just like having the ball with no purpose.
Yeah.
Until, I think, like, massive credit when that Laird came on, fullback, just changed the game. Completely changed the game.
Yeah,
up to that point, Stoke were miles the better team. We had nothing going forward, and then all of a sudden, he comes on, injects a bit of pace into the game, which is what we were desperate for, and starts taking people on and starts driving forward, whilst keeping the ball. I don't think he lost it at all. We might have lost it once or twice, but in order to try to make something happen, just increasing the pace.
Speaking about
that's
that,
when
the
game changed then.
He was the last point. So I wanted to ask how he was. He was his debut, obviously come off the bench to replace Latabodier, who went off. I was going to ask, like, for me, Latabodier is not a right wing back. I know he's been playing there. He's a centre back, so we are probably losing some of our attacking threat because of him being in that position. And the system with the wing backs, especially the way he's pushing them up so much, it relies heavily on the wing backs getting involved in the attacks. I don't think Latabodier that's not his game. I'm not saying he's doing a really bad job. I'm just saying that's not his game. So Led going into there, and like you said, it changed the game all of a sudden. It makes sense. I don't think we're going to see Latabodier playing right back again now, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, because I know we'll come on to Friday as well, but he pushed him into the back three where he was more comfortable, and that led a fullback. I think he's been brilliant. I don't think I can't see him losing that shirt now. I'm led on that right wing back because he was that good.
Yeah,
in both games.
Oh, sorry, I just yawned a bit tired. Not that much sleep the last couple of nights. Where does that leave Connor Roberts going forward?
That's difficult, unless the only thing I can see is unless he moves. Obviously, Bidwell might be leaving, isn't it? We've seen things like rumours about that. Unless Led can play on the left and he plays Connor Roberts on the right. But
even if Bidwell doesn't leave, doesn't mean that Led won't play on the left if Connor Roberts comes back.
Yeah.
Who do you deem stronger, Roberts or Bidwell? So, who fits the system better? From what I've gathered, like, he's not. I think he eager to get rid of Bidwell, but I think he'd rather other people there. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know though. You lose
he was in for a left back though, wasn't he? He's in for a left back. He was in for that low from Sheffield United, and that's still been floating around the last week or so. Just don't know if anything's going to happen with it. But the fact that he's looking at that position when we've got Manning and Bidwell, it's like.
Yeah, I was going to say that though. I wonder if when everyone's fit, if he's looking at Manning as one of the three centre backs, because he's played all right in the two games. Well, 3 games actually. He played there against Sheffield United as well, didn't he? I don't know if that's just his hand forced with injuries, or if that's something he is looking at.
I know he's had good games as centre back, but I don't think he can stay there either. Same as Latabodier right back.
I know it's weird if Bidwell's not going.
Yeah.
And he's looking at bringing in another left back. Like, one of them's got to go, surely.
Yeah, well, Bidwell is the one all the talks about. We'll discuss that later. We've got a bit on that to talk about. So let's just move on to the second game this week. So away at Bristol City on Friday night. Oh, actually, before we get there, let's just remind you. So for the Stoke game, do you remember what you predicted?
Swans win, probably.
Yeah, you said Swans 2-1. To be fair, though, you said Piroe to score. So you had one thing right.
Yeah. I went optimistic, but then I went optimistic on the video. So we were talking, I probably talked myself into it, but on my Super 6, I'd done 2-0 Stoke, I think.
I'd done 1-1 with Piroe to score, so I didn't do too much better. But again, got the goal, so we'll take it. Anyway, Bristol City. So, a little bit of a reversal in fortunes, because we got our first win in the league. So we actually won this one 1-0. Again, thanks to Joel Piroe scoring on Sky this time. So, what did you make of this game? I did manage to watch it like intermittently. I came home from work, listened to some on the radio on the way home, watched the second half whilst trying to occupy the baby and stuff. So it was a bit intermittent, but I did see bits. Yeah. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, it was class the away following was ridiculous, wasn't it? So
that's
good to see
been
that
praised
again.
quite heavily, I think, on
it's
social
class.
channels.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it's just great to see that again. I think we played really well. Like, there was scares at the beginning. Bender again playing some balls out, and he had some good chances in the first half early on, which they probably should have finished. But then after that, when we seemed to settle into the game, I think we were good. I think after Piroe scored, we had another chance. Piroe had another chance actually from the corner, and the keeper made a good save. So I think we deserved the win. We looked so much better. We moved the ball so comfortably. I said Led, our full-back, was excellent. He caused havoc down that side. Piroe looked sharp. Yeah, I couldn't really... If they can build on that, we'll be laughing.
Yeah,
So I thought they were really good.
I don't know if Bristol didn't score, mind. I know...
in the first half, yeah. I say though, like, I'm saying about Bender, right? We give him the benefit of the doubt, because I said loads of times, we're adjusting to the play, and people need to give him options when he's got the ball. Sometimes, some of the ones he's given away, he's got options, and he just picks the wrong ball.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure that's something you can teach. Because the one on Friday...
He's young, though, isn't he? He'd teach himself by learning.
Yeah, I know, but come on, like, there was ones where he has a centre-half either side of him, and he played it right through the middle of the park. 3 midfielders coming onto it, and they should have scored. We should have been 1-0 down. It would have been a different game. Is that the one
that he played to Grimes, and Grimes takes a touch, but then guess, like, someone comes in from behind and...
I don't think he takes a touch to it, does he? He plays it through the middle of the centre-halves, into the middle of the park, and there's 3 red shirts coming onto it.
Yeah, well, as much as... I think it's difficult with Bender, because I don't think he's playing awfully, and in this game, again, SofaScore giving him a rating of 8.1. So, good game. He made, like, you see a couple of teams of the weeks going around. The one I think we were looking at was the EFL Stats, which is a good Twitter account, if you just want to have a brief overview of what's going on in Championship. But he got in there as the goalkeeper in the Team of the Week. So, I do see what you're saying, because that's a massive part of the game. He needs to be able to do that. But I think, like, as a goalkeeper, when it comes to like saves, like he made 5 saves again in this game. He's obviously maybe even a better shot stopper than Woodman from what I've seen. Very good
shot stopper, Bender is, in all fairness. He's a very good shot stopper, but he's making 5 saves and 3 of them are caused by his passing out.
Yeah, 4 saves from inside the box, so that's decent.
He did make some good saves, in all fairness, we'll give him credit. But it seemed like after that first mistake that they stopped doing it. Like, it didn't seem that Bender was trying to play out. It seemed like he went longer after that mistake, as if to say, like, I'm not doing that again.
So, and I think Russell Martin talked about this in his interview afterwards, that he's happy that what he said was something like he's happy with the win, but he thinks it's the worst they've played all season, and annoyed that they didn't stick to the game plan.
Yeah.
And if you look at the stats, right, so we actually only had 54% possession, so it was immediately... That stands out because we haven't had anything below 60 all season so far.
Yeah.
However, as much as, like, I know you're saying, we look good for the win, we only had 8 shots, they had 15, 5 on target we had 4. So, like, there was a couple of chances. I think Weimann had a couple. I think Andy King even had one that he probably should have scored. I don't know if it was a header or something from a corner.
Yeah, I was like, that wasn't a, like, I don't think he should have scored. It was a bit of a hard chance. He was just stretching when he inflicted on.
Yeah. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I think
sometimes it goes in.
I think Weimann definitely should have. And is it Chris Martin that missed a one right at the start that you were on about?
Oh yeah, you definitely should have scored that one. By Dale.
So and he's experienced, isn't he? He's been around the block a bit, and you just expect you would have expected him to bury that. To be fair, but yeah, Weimann definitely didn't have shooting boots on. I think he was skying some efforts that you'd probably expect to do better himself. I've got a question. Did the back 3, what order did they line up in?
Yeah, I was going to say about this. I looked like to me that Manning played in the middle of the 3.
Yeah.
And Latibodia and Cooper either side, which was different.
So do you think he thinks Manning is the strongest? That's why he's put him there?
No, I don't know. I think it's not that he's... No, I think it's not that he's the strongest. I think, like I said, against the Stoke game, where they sort of had that like U shape, I think it's because Manning naturally drifts left, maybe, when he's played on the left of the 3. So maybe leave some gaps. So maybe put him in the middle. I don't know. That's just a thought, but maybe he does think he is better playing out because he is good at that. He's good with the ball. His feet, he is comfortable on the ball. But unless playing him in the middle sort of, keeps the back three where they should be.
Unless he's looking at the opposition and who they're going to be up against. And I don't know. Thought Manning was a better match for Chris Martin and Weimann than he was for the wingers. And I don't know how he would decide that. It's weird how he's rotating them. You don't usually see that sort of thing happen. I thought and Brandon Cooper is a centre back in it, so Manning's a left back really. Bit weird. Yeah. But seemed to work. I think they both had good games, to be fair.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought Manning was good. Yeah. Brandon Cooper was class as well.
Okay, so the goal then, so Joel Piroe scored a goal, and I think it was from winning possession in Bristol's half originally. And then he gets the ball down to his feet and just goes on a run towards goal. And I think this is the sort of area where the Michu comparisons come in from, if that's fair to say. And I think, I'm trying to remember, was it Michu's first goal against QPR where he has a little bit of a run and sort of curls into the bottom right corner, finesses it he didn't
the first
quite
one,
finish it the same way, but it was the same sort of run where he's running through good nifty footwork, moves the ball well, and for someone that's quite tall, I guess the same as Michu, which is why people are saying it, he does keep the ball well at his feet when he's running.
We saw that run like he did against Reading as well, wasn't it? So that's something we've been missing, is someone who just drives. Yeah,
so he drives towards the goal and he gets a shot in, and I think the first shot, to be fair, it was a good shot and he ends up hitting the post, but I thought the keeper would have got there, the first shot.
I think I'm gutted that first one. Well, not gutted because he scored, but I'd love if that first one went in because it was so clever. Because the defenders are there,
I don't know if he
and
the
keeper's already moving to the other side because he thinks he's going to try and sort of bend it in that far corner.
Around the defender, didn't he? But that's what I was going to say. Like when you watch the shot itself, it doesn't seem like from the distance he scored, it would have been scoring near post really. You'd think the keeper would do better, but I think it's the way when you watch the actual goal, I think he deceives the keeper by using their own defenders to bend it into that corner. And I think because the keeper's going the other way is why he doesn't ever get there. But I think in a normal situation that's not going to go in. But he ends up hitting the post, and you've got to credit him because he kind of plays a 1-2 with himself. It falls back into the middle of the goal, but he's again the quickest to react to it, and it's tapping at that point. He has to finish it quite well though because it's bouncing after it in the post, and
that was a good finish when it's coming back at him.
Make sure he keeps it down and he keeps it on the floor, just passes it into the net. So very good. That's the sort of thing that does excite you about, I think, a striker, because it was a solo goal essentially. Like he made it for himself, and
he means the 1-2 off the post. Meant that,
and he didn't give up after. Some strikers might think I've done my shot now, it's going in, but then not react quick enough when it's the post or something like that. But it was good reactions. He's looking good, and I don't know if you saw John Van Zwieden or whatever his name is. There was I think he was critical of Piroe when we signed him, saying he didn't think he was all lax. He's Dutch, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was tweeting the other day saying he's doing really well since he's come to Swansea. Well done, Joel, and all this stuff. It's like I know everyone hates him and stuff, but
No, I am really excited about Piroe. I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself, but he has had hardly any chances. I think he only had that chance and another one from the scramble and the keeper saved it. He just seems to be taking every chance he's given at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's quite exciting because that's something that we don't usually have.
We missed a goal scorer, and I think you've already seen what a goal scorer can add to the squad. Like if he was there last year, just from what we've seen already, I just think it would have been very helpful.
Yeah,
he's already, for me, I know Cullen is his own thing, but he starts ahead of Cullen if you're going to have a shootout for.
Got to be first name on the team sheet. I know, Cullen's having a lot of stick, isn't he? Because
Cullen's having a lot of stick. I don't think he deserves it though. I just think he's not even playing.
He's playing out of position for a start. Yeah, he's out of position for a start. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is second season, and I wouldn't even say he had a full season last year.
But I thought, like we said, he's going to have to adjust if that's where he wants him to play. Because if Piroe's going to start up front, then maybe his only chance is to play in the two behind. But I thought he did go off the boil, I think, on Friday. Like, sort of, I think first half he was all right, and then second half he was really quiet before he got took off. But before he got taken off, sorry. But yeah, I know, I corrected myself then. But like, I think he looks quite dangerous because he does make some good runs. I remember, like, the Blackburn game. I know he was playing up front then. Like, I know he had 2 good chances and he probably should have scored. But he's making really good runs as a striker from that deeper position.
Yeah, I don't think it's game over for him at all. He's still got,
I think he's
Piroe might get injured, and then I find it weird that Lopez started as a striker instead of Cullen. I would just flip him. I feel like both would be more suited better to just switch in roles when
I think
some of the other games where they started with Lowe up top and Cullen behind. But like Russell Martin said, didn't he, before the Stoke game, that Cullen was tired. So maybe that's why he went off the boil in the second half. Maybe his fitness is one of the worst. Like, just don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But I think you could see elements that it would work because you've got, like, if you've got Piroe up front and he's going to occupy some defenders, you've got Patterson and Cullen behind that will make runs in behind as well.
Yeah.
As attack-minded players, so something that could work.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Patterson.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's been good as well. Yeah, I've been really impressed with him.
I'm surprised though. I thought, like, a good idea what they could do with it. You've got the one up top, you've got the 2 behind. Like, if Cullen's playing there, like, when we've got the ball, can you not transition into, like, a 2 up top with Patterson in the middle so we can go anywhere behind them, like, as a cam? And then when we haven't got the ball, if that's the shape you want, then just go back to that. I don't know if that would work better. Maybe it would help with the massive gap in the middle that you spoke about earlier, like the U shape. I don't know. Just and maybe with an attacking fullback that's going to do the job required, like Led now, maybe that will help, like, Cullen get into the game in that position.
Yeah, I think so. They didn't seem to have that sort of gap on Friday night because I think that the back three were tight and the fullbacks obviously were wide again, but we seem to have, like, Grimes and Fulton in the middle this time and Patterson and Cullen in the middle as well. So it didn't seem to have that gap this time. But
Fulton's playing a role he knows more this time than he was in the Stoke game.
Exactly. I think that was a big difference. But, like, going back to Led, what a player over those 2 games, he's been class.
Yeah,
really, really good.
First start for him in this game, and someone's already made a highlight reel of his game. I did see one where he, like, basically, like, fake dribbled without actually moving the ball and sent the player, like, to the shot
all over the place.
Basically, yeah.
That was a culmination of what he'd been doing all game because he was like, he'd done one where when he kicked it on behind and got to it, and then he'd done other ones where he'd done a give and go, and then he'd done another one where he sort of chopped back and passed back. So literally, when it got to that point, the defender had absolutely no idea what he's going to do, and he beat him all ends up with just a movement of the shoulder.
But yeah, no, he looks very exciting. It's nice to see someone taking players on, like even just knocking the ball past and backing himself at pace. Nice to see him trying a little bit of trickery as well, and then it's nice to see. I think he was getting brought down for fouls in dangerous areas as well because they couldn't deal with him. So I think that's a positive. Like, I think clubs are going to regret not getting him in. He was at MK Dons last season with Russell Martin.
Yeah.
By all accounts, had a really good season. Was highly rated. He's a Man United youngster, and he has made first team appearances for him. I'm just shocked that no one else has come in. He stepped up. He's only played a game and a half, and I feel like he's already good enough for Championship football.
Oh, definitely.
So
yeah,
just a weird,
long way to go.
Hidden gem. Like, he could be the Geehy of this season for us in a way that he's a lone player that's going to be a solid part of the team.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I mean, that probably means they get a Premier League move next year, but it depends, I guess. Like, Man United may be more likely to put him into their team than Chelsea would with their youth. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, who's got his competition? Wan-Bissaka.
Well, yeah. If he starts playing well, I'll see why not. Maybe getting a bit ahead of ourselves there.
Yeah, maybe.
But but to be fair, what we've seen so far, like, can't complain. He's been class. He changed coming on against Stoke and then playing on Bristol City on Friday. I think he's changed those 2 games.
Yeah. So look forward to seeing more of him. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him start against Plymouth just to get him more integrated into the team, but we'll discuss that more later. Last point I want to talk about the Bristol game. The yellow cards. So the referee handed out 10 yellow cards in this game. Swansea had 6. To be honest, it's nice. Sometimes you don't mind seeing your team pick up a couple of yellows because it means they're perhaps not scared of putting a challenge in or getting a bit into a dogfight, which sometimes you need in certain games. Sometimes you question your team in it when you don't have a single yellow card. You get beaten and you're like, I didn't even try and do a derby match. And this is like a mini derby match. So 10 yellow cards, that's a lot. That's a lot for one game.
I know, I can't believe it when you just said 6 yellow cards, because it didn't seem like it was that niggly. But then, I don't know, I think maybe the ref was a bit keen to get his cards out.
I'm surprised, though, if there was 10 yellow cards, so there wasn't red.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. It didn't just... I wouldn't have said, there could have been a red in that game, there was tackles flying in and stuff. It didn't seem like that type of game. I think, Fulton had one early on when he just, did one of his classic big dive-ins. Grimes had one really late on, then he chopped someone down, on the counter-attack.
But it was simple. Well, I mean, I think if Football Manager has anything to go by, I think 5 cards or more, sometimes your club will get a fine. So I don't know whether we'll get a fine for that, for failing to control your players. I think it's referred to.
Oh, that means Grimes is going then. They've taken his wage packet.
One thing I forgot to mention as well, which I wanted to talk about. Bristol City started with Alex Scott behind striker. Well, on the right wing, really. 18 years old. I think only turned 18 years old today.
He was 17 when he played. He was good as well, I thought. He was probably one of their better players, I think. He seemed to be trying to make something happen. He seemed alright to me.
Do you know anything about him? Was he on loan somewhere last year? This is his first, he just... I don't know, the manager's just... it was Pearson, isn't it? It's just... I had to go look at the youth over the summer. Because he came in halfway through the season, didn't he? And he just needed to keep him up or change him around a little bit. Keep him up last year. He's looked down and he's brought a player up. It's nice to see someone of that age getting a start, in a championship team.
Yeah, it's a big call as well.
You are? Big call.
A big call as well, because they've only... We said they haven't won at home since January. They 12 games they haven't won at home.
Yeah, it's definitely a big call. But we obviously integrate youth into our team, but I don't know if we ever started a 17-year-old in the league match.
Oh. I don't know, maybe at some point, but
not recently, since we've been developing our youth in the last couple of years. I mean, yeah. Well, good on him. I hope he does well going forward. He had a good rating on SofaScore. He had a 7, so fair play, decent game. Anything else you want to touch on about this game?
No, I don't think so. It's good to get a win on the board. Massive to get our first win on the board, especially after the result on Tuesday.
Yeah, so the win puts us 16th now, so 4 points. Bristol also on 4 points. They're literally 15th ahead of us there. So, early days still, but it's just nice to not be like one of them teams at the bottom that hasn't won a game yet. There's 4 left of those. And it's just not a nice environment to be in that. So it can just a little bit of pressure off, try and move forward.
Oh, yeah.
We had Kyle Joseph on the bench as well. He still haven't managed to get on in league match, which I thought was unfortunate for him. And Jan Dander again did manage to get on after his early hook in the game before.
He needs to go on loan. We
can't send him on loan because we don't have enough cover.
No, but if they bring someone out, well, do we not have cover? What about when Walsh and Corey Smith comes back? He's never going to play.
Their injury record's not been the greatest, have they?
No, I know. That's probably why he's kept him, but I said, I'm not convinced with him, but what is the point? He never gets... I do feel sorry for him. He never gets a chance. If he does, he's played in the wrong position, and then he's hooked off after 20 minutes. So I don't know. It just doesn't work for me at all, whatever's going on.
I still would be starting him over Cullen if you're going to play Cullen in that role, mind.
Nah, not in a right position.
No?
Nah. I just no.
It's right.
This is a thing.
Midfield though, is it? It's right cam.
Yeah, but but it's sort of in a wider channel, isn't it? I don't know. We'll give him a chance. Well, I'll give him a chance in there,
I'm
but
sure we'll see him tomorrow.
it seems to be that everyone says, "Oh, he's got to play. He's got to play 10." So is that it? Like, unless the team plays 10, he just doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
I don't know how we've got back to that.
The last thing we did mention, Andy King and Casey Palmer, 2 former players. Casey Palmer, I'm shocked, didn't even get on the pitch.
Yeah, I know, it's a strange one. But the Championship just seems littered now with former Swans players. It's going to be like every week. Scott Sinclair on Saturday.
Oh, God. He hasn't yet, though, has he, since he's been at Preston?
Yeah, he did score against us, didn't he?
Once.
He did score. Yeah, he did, yeah. He did.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that one. Anyway, let's move on. So some other Championship stuff this week. So I think looking at the top of the table is kind of going to be predictable up there. We said Fulham, West Brom were going to be up there, thereabouts. We said QPR would have a push for top 6. They're up there in 5th as well. All 3 of those teams have not lost a game. Stoke, who we lost to midweek, joined them in that category, not losing a game. 3 wins and a draw. All joint on top. All at the top on 10 points. Fulham, West Brom, Stoke. Goal difference is what's separating them. But I feel like that might be... Goal difference is going to just heavily swing towards Fulham and West Brom's favour if things carry on the way they're going. One key result, West Brom beating Sheffield United 4-0. They both came down together. You just wouldn't expect that gap. Like, Sheffield are one of the 3 that got the parachute money. Didn't lose really anyone. What's going on?
Yeah, it's shocking. But we said, didn't we, in the video, obviously we got on the wrong team, but we said that obvious that maybe the top 4 would be there. Sheffield United, Fulham, West Brom and Bournemouth will probably be top 4, but we said, like, it's probably unlikely that it'll work out like that, and one of them will sort of come away from the pack, one of them will struggle, and it looks like, it's early doors, it's going to be Sheffield United.
So 3 losses, 1 draw, 1 goal scored, 7 conceded. And when you consider, like, Ryan Brewster's there, McBurney, last time he was in the Championship, 20 plus goals.
Burke.
Liss Mousset, you've got Burke, you've got Sharp, you've got
McGoldrick.
Yeah, like, how have they only scored 1 goal? And then they got, like, quality in midfield as well. They got that Sander Burge. Yep. He shouldn't be in the Championship. I don't know. Yep. Maybe the new manager's struggling to change from the way that Wilder used to play football to the way he wants to play football now, and it's just not working.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it, similar to us trying to change the way you're playing football. But again, like, sometimes we can say it's a good thing that they've come down and they haven't really lost anybody, but you've still got the same squad that was losing a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard
maybe it's that mentality hurdle you've got to get over, and who can get over that the quickest. Like, maybe for them 3 clubs, like West Brom and Fulham, had 1 year, came back down, so it's perhaps easier to adjust back to, like, because you never stayed up. It's hard to stay up, and you did manage to do it. So, like what Norwich did, is like reset, be strong, and go back up straight away. Whereas Sheffield United had such a good season the year they went up that it seemed like it was such a shock when they were so bad last year.
Oh, but they were awful last year. They lost a lot of games.
But it was like everyone was praising how good they were and how Wilder's tactics and new and refreshing, and no one, saw it coming. And then all of a sudden, it just literally fell off a cliff.
It's strange though. I think it was always strange with Sheffield United because they had so many strikers. So they're chopping and changing them every week. One he plays 2 and then they don't score and plays the other ones the next week. Like Brewster starts and he doesn't. McBurney started on the weekend. Sometimes it's a bit like it is strange that they bought so many strikers.
Yeah, and the thing is,
apparently it's
not like they bought so many strikers either. They spent big money on a lot of them, so it's like, how would you leave one of them out?
But apparently they've this is just rumours as well. I don't know, nothing official, but apparently he said that like Burke and Brewster can leave.
It's going to be hard to keep all of them strikers in the Championship for, I think this season, maybe January they'll lose some as well, but you can't keep them all happy. You can't keep them all scoring, and if you're going to be struggling at the bottom end, you need to cash in, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. So I don't know why he hasn't been able to get a tune out of Brewster, but yeah, apparently he's one of the ones that definitely going, marked for leaving.
It's 2 managers though, isn't it, that didn't get a tune out of Brewster really, or 3 if you consider the caretaker.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's an example of a player that's made a bad choice when he's agreed to go to a club. I'm not saying he had options, but he could have stayed at Liverpool. You could have said no. But first team football Premier League, I guess he had to back himself.
Take that.
But
Yeah,
we all questioned the style of football that was played for Sheffield under Wilder and whether he'd fit into that, and he didn't. So
Brewster and Piroe up front, yeah?
Yeah. Imagine. I can't see it, but can you imagine?
No,
anyway,
I can't see it.
Speaking of more bad form, Nottingham Forest 4 losses on the bounce. I thought, and I don't know where we put them in the predictions now, but I thought that with an experienced manager like Chris Hughton, having nearly a year there now, and he did have the last half of last year, he did start getting a bit better, and they started moving up slowly to the lower half of the bottom, lower half of like mid-table area by the end of the season. But it's just gone back to being crap. Like,
yeah, it's Forest are a bit of a funny one, and I don't know. I can't work them out. Obviously, maybe like people close to the club will be able to tell us what's going on. But I had them. I can't remember where we put them in the end. I think we put them round about the mid-table mark, didn't we? Because I had them like sort of mid.
A bit, but
not much. Yeah.
Like I was toying with them going top half, but obviously not happened.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, like we said, it's still a long way to go. But from the start so far, yeah, it's not looking good, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, any Forest fans, if you do come across this video, let us know what's going on there, because I wonder if they can turn it round. They're one of 4 teams anyway to have not got a win. The other 2, well, we said Sheffield United, and there's Blackpool and Millwall. Millwall
was a surprise as well.
Yeah, who lost to Cardiff on the weekend 3-1, which isn't what I want to talk about here. I mean, we just said they've lost. They haven't won a game, so they're on 2 points. They got 2 draws, 2 losses. But the point I'm mentioning Cardiff for, the top goal scorer in the Championship. Do you know who it is?
Yeah, Flint, isn't it?
Aidan Flint is the top goal scorer in the Championship. And not only that, Cardiff have scored 8 goals this season. Right? And all 8 of them have been headers. 4 of them being from Aidan Flint, by the way. That's why he's top of the rankings for goals scored. 8 goals, 8 headers in 4 matches.
I can't believe that. And Morrison's got the other one on Saturday, the other centre-half. Look, I'm not saying it, like, obviously we've got the rivalry and we have all that and blah, 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 but how can you watch that football? 8 headers. I know it is getting results, isn't it? And it will get them results for the season.
They'll probably be going to go up and be successful. They try and change.
But can you be successful? Can you be successful playing that football?
The Prem, but like they get there and they come back down. But that's what I mean. It's what happens. Like they tried adapting, didn't they? They brought in that bald guy after Malky Mackay or whatever his name is.
Slade.
Yeah, it didn't work with him. They went back to their roots with Warnock. Went up, come back down, tried changing again a little bit with Neil Harris. And like it wasn't as much as like 8 goals, 8 headers. I know they didn't necessarily play like what we do, but it was something different under Harris. And then that's not worked. So they're going back to the same thing again. They got an old guy in, Mick McCarthy, and they're just like, yeah, do we want? Just get us up, just play like defensive, boring, just whatever. Just get us up.
I know, but it's just... It's just, I don't know, it infuriates me. Like people said that we played absolutely dreadful football last season in the Cooper. No, we did not. We're nowhere near that level.
Yeah. Well, if you're comparing...
It's just literally hoofball now, even still in this like sort of like era of football. It baffles me. They'll probably beat us twice as well because they'll probably score 2 set pieces.
It says it all right. They
can be effective.
Their ball possession average. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to see. 59% of I thought they were going to be lower, like in terms of how much possession they're having. So fair play there. 67% of their passes are accurate. So I would say that's low end.
Yeah, with 60% of the ball.
Yeah.
Well, but if you're playing against them, you'd happily let them have the ball, wouldn't you?
Well,
that's probably why they got so much possession.
Harris used to struggle last year because teams were doing that. That's why they were struggling last year.
Yeah.
But It's
I'm
classic,
sure we'll
isn't
come
it?
back.
We'll see what happens.
I'm sure.
It'll be the contrast of styles when we have the derbies again this year.
I mean, that's what makes the derby as well, though, isn't it? Because there is like two different footballing sides. In all fairness, that's why it is so good as well.
Yeah.
But I could never watch that football. I couldn't.
Yeah. So that's Cardiff. They're challenging. They're up at the playoffs at the moment. So see if they stay there.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. But whatever. So working for them. So good on them for that, I guess. Any other teams you want to mention then? I mean, I know we mentioned West Brom. You said Alex Mowat scored a class goal.
Oh my god, the goal he scored! You need to see it. Like a volley, left foot. It was a lovely finish. West Brom. Yeah, I'm surprised actually because if I would have picked one of the four to struggle, I probably would have picked West Brom.
Yeah.
I
don't know why. Like the manager comes from Barnsley. It looks like he's kind of continued where he left off. He's managing to get that style working, and he's brought Mowat with him, and looks like he's a key figure there already.
Yeah, credit to him because I definitely would have picked them as well. Like if I had to pick one out of the four to struggle, I would have picked them. So yeah, credit to him for doing that, going straight in it and carrying that on. Yeah. Anyone else? I don't know.
The last one for me was Luton losing at home 5-0 to Birmingham.
Oh yeah, what was that about?
And I didn't realise this went under the radar a little bit, but Birmingham signing Tanith Chong from Man United on loan.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Like that could be a good piece of business. I mean, the fans were raving about him after this game.
Yeah, it was the same with us as well. Like you said, surprised nobody else went in for him.
Yeah, he's played quite a few matches in like the first team for Man United in like the Europa League and I don't know if he was in the Champions League at all, but he's definitely played in a lot of their cup matches in the last couple of years.
Yeah, so good signing.
Yeah,
I think as well, Coventry sitting in 5th, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's a funny
decent.
one.
4th.
4th is not bad. Fair play, they're doing well. Doing alright, aren't they?
Could they be the Barnsley of last year?
Maybe.
I mean, I'm looking at their wins. They've beaten Forest, who are down the bottom, Blackpool, who still haven't won as well, and Reading, I would say Reading is struggling too.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise as well, because I thought Reading were going to be...
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is based off 4 games and all this, so we'll see what happens.
I think Reading will struggle this season because of the transfer embargo. They lost their best player. They can't replace them. And that was so evident when we played them in the Cup because they played there under 18s, essentially. So
yeah, that's true.
But it all based on early. I think for Coventry, I'm not saying they're not going to be up there at the end. They might be, but it's one of them luck of the fixture draw. In a way, they got the teams who were struggling early on. They managed to get some good momentum and form, and that hopefully for them will set them up for a good season. Yeah. Whereas, you could argue for other teams, maybe haven't had the best teams to play when it's starting the season, and it can always set the tune. Like Forest, for example, they played Bournemouth, where they've lost. They lost to Coventry, as we said. Blackburn, who've had a good start as well, and Stoke, who've had a good start, so difficult start for them, and now they're in that rut. People are questioning where's the improvement. We thought it would be better, and it's not happening, so it was harder to get out of that then.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's have a look at any news this week. So, a word on Wine Street then. I have a lovely little news section. So first of all, I want to congratulate Jay Felton because he becomes part of Swansea City's 150 club. He made his 150th appearance for the club against Bristol City on Friday night. Could you see him make an 150 appearance when he first pulled on a jersey in the Premier League under Gary Monk?
Yeah, I don't know, to be fair. I think he's been alright. I think he was solid when I played him in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Pretty decent, wasn't he?
I think he had his best spell under Brad Bobley.
Yeah, he did.
He loved him.
Especially, genius.
Yeah.
Bob Bradley saw it coming.
Yeah. Well done to Jay Felton anyway. He's 27 now. He's been here a good few years. He came back in 2014, so 7 years he's been here. So yeah, decent.
Good on him.
Decent innings for him. So I wonder if he'll get to 10 years and then have a testimonial. Nathan Dyer didn't get one. He just got a nice little show off the other day down the club, didn't he, for the Sheffield game. So that's the first bit of news. We haven't really spoke about Mac Grimes much today. considering how much we banged on about him last week.
Yeah.
I think he had solid games, didn't he, in the two that, well, I say games. The Bristol City game probably was decent in.
Solid again.
So, Swansea Independent, who seem to have been quite an accurate source of news the last couple of months or so. Obviously, this is all hearsay, if you like. Nothing's like from the club officially, so you can never say it's 100% true. But they're reporting that Matt Grimes will be meeting with Julian Winter on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Also the game, obviously, we're playing Plymouth in the Cup, which is seen as the final attempt to see him get a new contract. It's kind of like crunch talks, if you like. So they just go into a little bit of detail about what's going on here. It seems to be maybe his agent making a bit of noise. He's in the last year of his contract, and they want to get him a new deal. They want him to get a bumper new deal. So like he's captain, and they probably expect him to be one of, if not the highest paid player there, I'd imagine. He's been here one of the longest. I think actually Jay Felton, if you ignore Wayne Routledge, Jay Felton is the longest serving member of the team. Grimes is like one of the longest after Felton. I think he signed the year after. So a fee in principle was agreed, this is what they're saying, with Fulham after some talks. However, the interest has tailed off a bit of late. Not sure whether they'll come back in before the end of the season. But other clubs interested, such as Watford, Bournemouth, Brighton, Newcastle, Southampton as well. That might be like just keeping tabs on what goes on. I think the point is here, like, if they can't get him signed up to a new deal after Tuesday, the agent is going to be pushing for a deadline day move where there's a bit of desperation, and clubs will be desperate to replace players of their club, and we'll be desperate to move him on as quickly as possible to get money in so we can replace him on the same day.
I think that it's going to be an active deadline day. I think there's a lot of business still yet to be done up and down the country, so I wonder if, obviously Grimes might be one of them, I wonder if it swings on stuff like, Bidwell leaving. If that gets over the line, then maybe he can stay and stuff like that. So, but on that though, this is something that's like happening a lot now, is the agent drums up the interest, isn't it? And then
it's their job at the end of the day to get their client the best deal. So like, he's in the last year of his contract, so they're negotiating a new contract with the agent anyway. That's the whole point. So the agent just puts some noise out there to try and scare the club into giving you more money, and then if the club doesn't, then it's their job to find them a club that will, I guess. That's what they're paid to do, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that is what they're paid to do at the end of the day.
Oh no, I get why they do it. Obviously, I get why they do it, but it's annoying me at the moment because it seems to just be ruining the game. Because you've got like, it's the same thing happening with Harry Kane. Like it was all like he wanted to leave. No, his agent was saying he wanted to leave, and it looked like he wanted to leave. And what you'll have is, if he doesn't, he'll just go back into the Spurs squad and say, "Oh, I never wanted to leave. I always wanted to stay. I'm loyal to the club."
Yeah.
That was all rumours. That was all noise. I always wanted to be here. I couldn't wait to sign my new contract. And that's the sort of thing that's doing my head in now. Because probably not to that extent. Because I think if Grimes can get a right deal, he probably wouldn't mind staying here. He's been here for a while. It's the same thing. Like, you watch now, if he signs a new contract, it'll be, "Oh, I always wanted to stay. I always wanted to be."
He came out and said in Sky Sports the other day, didn't he, that he... this is what he said. Okay, he was asked about the interest around him, and he said, "No, it's all just noise around me at the moment. I'll give everything I can for this club every time I step foot on the pitch, and that's all I can say about it, really."
It's the same thing, isn't it?
Just a standard answer. You can't really say anything, can you? So
I'll give 100% to the club. What if he just said, "No, I'm staying"?
Well,
I got nothing against him either, because I think his partner's pregnant as well, isn't she? So I think his next deal will be obviously where his kid grows up and stuff like that. So that's obviously external stuff that people look at, isn't it?
So I think he does. I think he does want to stay, but like at the end of the day, if you don't sign a new club, for him, I guess, if you're saying his partner's pregnant, he's going to have a kid in the next year. If they don't give him a new contract, or they don't agree with one now, he's leaving next year anyway for free. So would you rather move now before the kid's born, or would you rather move when he's like a couple of months old?
Yeah, there's stuff we don't think of, isn't it? Yeah. Like, there's obviously stuff like that goes on behind. But yeah, it just bugs me at the moment. Just that this seems to be happening all the time now. Like, oh, there's a move, new contract. Oh, I always wanted to be here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in that one. Maybe we'll know a little bit more about it next week. We could perhaps, soon as this international break, delay the video till after that concludes. Maybe.
Well, no, we might be able to do one because the transfer window will shut and then we go into that international break.
So we'll do a normal video and then maybe we can do one if stuff happens.
We'll do a bit of a transfer update sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, so Jordan Garrick has obviously gone on loan. I'm not sure if anyone's seen, to Plymouth Argyle, who are the opponents of... I don't know if you can do the car again or whatever it is, bike. The opponents of Swansea in the Carabao Cup. Is that what it is these days? Still.
Oh, God, no.
So we're playing them anyway. We're playing Plymouth on Tuesday. Garrick's gone on loan. He's basically said he's declaring his support for Plymouth. And wish whatever. That's not the news. It was more the fact that he's gone on loan now. He's obviously not going to be able to play. But yeah, I think some people were disappointed to see him leaving. I didn't ever see him as part of the first team plans.
No.
I don't think he's got it, to be honest.
No, he showed promise, didn't he? When he scored,
on, right?
I'll
tell you what happened. He started coming on the scene as Dan James left, or just as Dan James was going to leave, like right at the end of that season. And everyone was like, oh, that's fine, we've got a Dan James replacement. He's just as quick, he can take people on, because he looked a bit like excited in his first couple of games, which he probably would, because his first couple of games. But he had a few games afterwards, and he didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden he's not in the team anymore. And then I think he did have a game, and he punched someone in the face and got sent off.
Class.
Which to be fair, like, everyone enjoyed that a little bit, but I just don't think he's good enough.
I agree. I think. How old is he now?
I didn't say I've closed the article now. Early 20s somewhere. 23 maybe. He's one of them ones that was in the academy with like McBurney and that, so...
Yeah, but you'd expect him at 23 now to be, if he was going to make it in the Championship, to be showing something.
Yeah.
Showing something more, rather than going out on loan to Plymouth, So I'd expect at 23 for him to be, pushing for a start and stuff.
Yeah, I'll look at the other side of things as well, and I will, in his defence, say we haven't really played with wingers for nearly a year now. Maybe that's kind of part of the problem. We're still not doing it now, really. They're like inside forwards, if anything. And to the extent where Steve Cooper even put him in the right wing back.
Yeah.
Role.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, last bit of news. Again from Swansea Independent. Middlesbrough's valuation of Jake Bidwell, a continuation from last week this. So Middlesbrough's valuation of Jake Bidwell is laughable, apparently. So I think we quoted 2.5 million in one of the articles we read before. That seems to be off the mark from just press that have got it wrong, which is quoted here. I think they stated Middlesbrough's valuation seems to be around 120k, and Swansea will not allow him to leave for anything less than 450k. Now I believe he is in the last year of his contract. He signed a 3-year deal when he signed on a free. But yeah, so I'm not sure if there's going to be any movement on this. It seems like there's a bit of a gap between the valuations of the club. I think clubs like Middlesbrough who have been in the league for a few years now, since they come down from the Prem, maybe haven't got a lot of money. So whether they can even go up to our asking price, who knows? It's a weird transfer season at the moment with COVID and everything. So I think this will play on maybe for the next week, and we'll find out if he's going to be here on transfer deadline day or not, probably.
There's going to be a lot of movement, I think. Like we said, I think there's going to be a few ins and outs for us before the window shuts. The 31st is shut in.
Next Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. So, I think there's going to be a few ins and outs for us before then. But 450k for Bidwell. If they're well below that, that's quite bad, though, isn't it? Well, it depends. How old is he now as well, Bidwell?
I think it puts into perspective, like, it's in like 28, 29, I think. Well below 450k, in today's terms in football, you think that's not even a lot of money. But to a championship club, or even lower, like down the system, it is. That's the thing, innit? Like, we remember spending Premier League money, and for the championship, there's a lot of movement that goes around for this sort of fee.
I get what you mean. That's probably probably a few more transfers like that at this level. But I think in terms of a left back / wing back / centre half if needed, solid at championship level. Probably could be in a promotion pushing team, or at least a playoff pushing team. I think that's quite cheap, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Like, if it's 100k, I'd just say keep him. But
I think the issue is wages, though, isn't it? I read somewhere that obviously since we've come down, and because we signed him early on, he's probably one of the highest earners now. Yeah, he's that's probably more.
He's in second year parachute money, so that's what
he's
based on.
Yeah, so that would make sense.
Anyway, last section then, a look ahead to the week ahead. So obviously you mentioned international break is after the upcoming week, but before that we got 2 games. We've got one in the cup, one in the league. So we'll start off quickly with the cup game. Obviously we beat Reading 3-0 in the last round away. We're now at home to Plymouth on Tuesday. I'm sure we played the pre-season, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we played the pre-season. I think it was 2-1 maybe that we won that game. Looking at their form, I don't know what sort of team they're going to play. It's a bit of a big game for them, for any lower league club to play a higher league club, isn't it? Like it's a big game, and I think they're going to see it as an opportunity to cause an upset. So I don't know if they're going to go for it, whether they will rotate their squad or whatever. They have been doing well in the league, so they got through to this round in the cup by beating Peterborough. Actually, that's interesting. I didn't realise Peterborough in the championship, so they beat Peterborough 4-0 in the previous round.
4-0. But yeah, Peterborough must have made changes, surely.
Still, though, you don't want to be. That's not a good result for Peterborough, is it? And it's going to give confidence to Plymouth. In League One, then they have 2 wins, a draw, and a loss. So decent form. The last 4 games, because they lost their first game essentially. So the 4-0 against Peterborough, a win against Gillingham, a draw against Cambridge, and a 3-0 win against Shrewsbury away. So coming in good form. Maybe it'll be a bit of a tricky game more than what we expect. I know we played them in pre-season, but if they've started hitting some form, scoring some goals, they're going to be up for it, aren't they?
Yeah, we're going to make changes as well, aren't we?
Yeah, so let's talk about the changes. So, what would your team be? Who would you like to see have a crack?
Well, Danda deserves a chance, doesn't he? After not really had a run out, I think Whittaker needs to have a run out again.
Did you see Whittaker was linked with a move away on loan?
Yeah, I saw that, but it's gone a bit quiet again now, isn't it?
Yeah, so I didn't talk about it in the news section because I'm not sure how much. For me, it was Twitter gossip. That's what I saw. So I don't know how much is behind that. But again, going to the transfer deadline day, maybe we'll see some more. But he did come on against Bristol after I saw the news, so I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, go back to your team. So Whittaker, Danda.
Yeah, Whittaker, Danda. I don't know. Maybe Kyle Joseph gets a run out. Then I was trying to think of making changes from the midfield backwards, and we just haven't got any options.
I would be tempted to keep Piroe in the team over Joseph, bring Joseph on as a sub.
Yeah.
Just to keep him going, get him more integrated, keep his run going.
Yeah. Could see that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the back 5 and midfield, we haven't got a lot of rotation options at the moment.
It depends what's going on. If I think Downs had COVID, so obviously he wouldn't be available if he did. But if it wasn't that, then I'd imagine he comes back in. But let's assume that him and Cabango are out because of that reason. Then you've got Grimes and Fulton again, which I think that Dan Williams will play because he started against Reading.
Yeah, he needs to play then, I think.
You'd have to give Grimes a rest. He's played every game so far this season, 90 minutes, I think.
Yeah, so I'd probably give him a rest.
And Fulton is obviously coming back. He missed the first 3 because of his suspension. Play him and Dan Williams, perhaps.
Yeah, but then, the centre halves, we've not got... What does anybody know what's going on with Bennett and Norton?
I know Norton's injured. I had that confirmed. Don't know until when, though. Martin was saying, they were short-term, compared to, Roberts, who's the longest, probably. And then Walsh and Smith weren't too far away. but I don't know what the timescale is when they're looking at coming back. So I don't know if they're available. I'm assuming they're not because they didn't even make the bench the other day. Maybe they make the bench if they are available this time.
That's frustrating though, because really now when we say we didn't have depth, we may have, like, at the moment we would have a good rotation. Like, you could bring in Walsh and Corey Smith, and bring in Bennett and Norton, and you've got a really good competitive 11 there.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to, like, maybe some of the youngsters that are coming in, but when you're playing a lower league side in the cup, they can be quite,
yeah,
they can be quite handy, can't they?
And interestingly, Brandon Cooper was the change in the defence when we played Reading for the cup game, but he had such a good game that he's kept his slot. Well, I say such a good game and kept his slot, but the injuries happened as well, which maybe were part of that. But he's now in the first team anyway, so when you're like, oh yeah, we'll give Cooper a run out as youth and all that, he's already in the team. I don't know who else, unless he brings another
I think
one
Cooper was different though, because he's been in and around the squad, and he was a good loan spell last year, didn't he?
Yeah, but
some of them,
if they weren't injured, perhaps he wouldn't have started those games. And that's
he probably wouldn't have, yeah.
So maybe Lincoln McFadden comes in at left back, because Bidwell and Manning have both been playing.
Yeah.
The likelihood is one of them still plays this.
But that's it, you could have, like I said, you could have Manning and Bidwell on rotation on the wing, and obviously we said about the centre halves, and we could have a competitive sort of 11 and the cup run, but I think he's got to rest players.
I want to say Led will probably play.
Do you think?
Yeah, because he's just come in again. We've only got the 2 games, and you've got the international break anyway. And he probably knows more about Led than he does about all of our team, because he played with him last year. So Led's going to know the game plan better anyway, if they're using the same tactics. Plus, the other option is Latpodia, so he's played all the games. And he's not right back. And he probably might have to play centre back anyway.
Yeah.
Because even Rashisha, who is the one in the youth team, he's injured.
Yeah. He had a bad injury, didn't he? So I think, it's just, it is what it is at the moment until we get a full squad together. Probably not going to be... I probably think there won't be that many changes, apart from maybe like Danda coming in and, like you said, like Dan Williams will probably come in, and maybe Whittaker. But apart from that, I think it'll be quite similar to what we've seen in the league.
One though, I think we might see a change. Goalkeeper.
Yeah, I saw Hemo was on the bench on Friday, wasn't he? So do you think he will actually give him a run
in the reckoning? Because it was Webb, wasn't it, before? But he's...
There was a Twitter rumour that we were linked with another goalkeeper, though, a Spanish one.
Yeah, we love signing goalkeepers, though, don't we?
But that's been quiet as well, so who knows?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what sort of changes he makes, but I think I would like to see him win the game. Play a decent strength squad to win the game. I think, to be honest, make changes to rest. There's only the Preston game of the weekend, and then he's got the international break to sort of hit the reset button, spend some more time on the training pitch. But I think just playing... He just needs to play the team to get their fitness up, to get their match sort of experience with his system up. So there will be a lot of first team players with a dotted few changes, I think, and I think that should be the way he should go, to be honest, because you're not going to get the match fitness up if you don't play.
Yeah.
Treat it as a pre-season game, if you like.
And I was going to say we still need game time. Keep saying about the process and that, and the change. So I think you need game time under their belt playing this different way. So we'll see on that one.
What's your prediction?
8-0 Plymouth. No, I think I think if he might play, we'll obviously have a strong side out, I think. Yeah. With a few changes. So I think we'll go 2-0 Swans.
Okay, I literally just wrote 2-0 down myself. I've said Joel Piroe and Led to score.
Nice.
Who are you going with?
I'm going to say... I'm going to say Cullen. I think he might play Cullen. I'd like to see him get a goal. I'd like to see him get off the mark. Cullen, and let's go with Fulton, is it? Top ends. We haven't had one yet.
So we can get the t-shirt out.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Preston then. I don't necessarily want to... I'd imagine the team, if we get that out of the way first, would be quite similar to the Bristol team, depending on what goes on with the COVID stuff. If Downs and Cabango are available again. I don't know what the rules are when they add it, how long they got to isolate for. So Friday to Saturday is 8 days, so it depends when they got it in. I think it's 10 days, and then maybe they've got a.
Yeah, 10 days. Yeah.
But then it depends what their fitness is like after having it. Or lots of questions, but if you base the team, say he starts the same team against Bristol as his first choice, Lowe on the bench, does Lowe come back in for Cullen maybe, or if Bennett or Norton are available, do they come back in?
Yeah, depends if they're fit. I think he should go Piroe and Lowe behind him and Patterson. I think that would be the side, wouldn't it? I think that would probably be our stronger sort of side. Probably with Fulton and Grimes behind them. Led, Bidwell, and then I don't know. I don't think if they're both fit, Norton and Bennett, I don't think they both play anyway. I'd be more tempted to bring Norton in because he's better at the ball with his feet, isn't he?
Yeah.
But he did start Bennett in the first game, didn't he? So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he likes to have.
To be fair.
Yeah, but maybe he likes to have him in the middle.
He's
just to be a bit more solid, just to be experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think maybe if Norton's fit, bring him in.
Okay.
With Cooper and we're missing Kavango, Blackwood, yeah.
Manning,
yeah. Can you drop him?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so Preston's form started the season with a 4-1 defeat to Hull, which we highlighted in one of our videos. They did win their cup game against Mansfield 3-0, but their league form has been a bit disappointing. So that followed with a loss to Reading 2-1. They lost to Huddersfield 1-0. Huddersfield are down there as well, so that's not a good loss. Well, actually, they're not down there, are they? We thought they would be down there.
No, because they scored against. Do you see they beat Sheffield United away, didn't they?
Yeah.
Carnage.
Ignore my comment on Huddersfield. They're actually quite near the top. They've had 2 wins and a draw and a loss. Yeah, and then they got their first win against Peterborough on the weekend just gone, where they won 1-0. The goal scorer in that game was Patrick Bauer. Don't really know much about him. But let's have a look at their squad. And I think, he's centre back, that Bauer is. Scott Sinclair's the obvious one here. You know, we talked about the Swansea curse again. He's the one. He's playing like up front for them as a striker these days. What do we think? Like, I know we're going away, but I think this is a game we need to target now. If we just go away at Bristol, then carry on a good form. They are struggling. They're not really having they beat Peterborough, they just come up from League One. They won 1-0. Took a centre back to score a goal. Having said that, they did have 16 shots with 7 on target against Peterborough, with 43% possession. So,
no, I agree. I think Preston are going to struggle this year. They're going to be down there. I think maybe not. Well, you had them to get relegated, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, I had them down there. I mean, they got the new manager, Frankie McAvoy. I say new manager, I don't know when he came in, but there was someone there for a while before, wasn't there?
Alex Neil was there for ages. I know I'd be targeting this. I'd want at least a point from that. I think I'd be disappointed if we lose that up there. I think you're right. I think it's one we got to be targeting. Always take a point away from home.
They made 4 big chances against Peterborough, missed 3 of them, and hit the woodwork once. So, don't know what sort of football Peterborough are playing. Perhaps they're probably just happy to stay in the league, and so perhaps they're quite defensive going away to Preston. Didn't manage to work for them, but we'll see what happens. I think we do need to try and continue our form. It would be good to go into the international break with a win. And again, I think Scott Sinclair, one to watch out for, and then maybe Sepp van der Berg on the right wing as well as another tricky player. But I don't know an awful lot about Preston's team now. They've let a lot of their good talent go. Maybe Ben Whiteman in midfield as well. I think he's maybe one that gets them ticking a bit. But other than that, any players for you?
No, to be honest, like you said, I can't really pick many Preston players out at the moment.
Yeah.
They've always had a tidy championship squad, and they always sort of mid-table on there. But last couple of seasons just drifted away, sold some of their talent. So I think, like I said, I'd want at least a point up there.
What is your prediction?
I'm going 1-1.
Goal scorer?
Piroe again. Let's go.
Piroe. You think he's going to be class this season then? I'm going 2-1 Swansea. And I'm going to say Jamal Lowe gets a goal. And
Nice.
Piroe.
Nice. Low and bro.
Yeah. Someone needs to make a song. I got I didn't realise, just before we finished the video, Peterborough, David Cornell, another ex-Swans player.
Oh, yeah, he is there.
He's on the bench for them, so it looks like their number 2 goalkeeper. So I don't know if he'll actually play. He probably won't score against us, so that's probably quite safe. But nice to see his name floating around in a championship, because he was there for ages, but for years he never really got a chance with us, did he? But
played against us 2 seasons ago, I think, maybe, in goals for Northampton.
Yeah.
I think we had him in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice to see him get some game time. I think he played in Scotland for a bit as well.
Yeah, decent. I wonder if he'll ever get considered for the Welsh squad now being in Championship, but I guess if he's not playing, maybe not. Okay, so any final words before we end the video?
No, nothing for me. Let's have a cup win and at least a point on Saturday, and I think we're in good stead then. You'll have time after the international break. The window will be shut, so then we can really see what we're all about then after the international breaks.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, like we said, we're trying to grow the channel, so that that's our aim. That's what we want to do. We want to get out to more Swans fans. We know there's more Swans fans out there. Like, you can fill a stadium with 20,000 people. It's definitely more people to get involved in our discussion. That's pretty much what we want to do. So we want to maybe do a giveaway at 500 subscribers. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Share our content, get it out there to more people. The quicker we hit it, the quicker we do the giveaway, and we'll obviously release details on how we will work that, how you can get involved when we get to that sort of target or near the target. So on that note, I hope you have a good week ahead, and we shall see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me, Lee.
No worries. See you soon.
Have a good one.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, to click the like button to help us grow. To keep up to date with all of our new uploads, hit the subscribe button and push the bell to ensure you are notified of all of our new videos. As always, engage in the comments and let us know your opinions on what we discussed today. And if you want to support us directly, check out our new merch where you can find some awesome Swansea related t-shirts.